The biggest IPO in stock market history is dropping today. Where's it going to land? SpaceX is all the hype, all the talk. Let's dive in. Let's discuss a little bit. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another beautiful day in real estate. We've got a lot to discuss today, and we have our little PIC partner in crime here helping things out. Sir, that's not a thing for you. No. All right. Anyways, let's jump into it, you guys. As always, interest rates come first. Interest rates are on their way down. Why? Well, we got a text or a tweet from yesterday saying, hey, guess what? The war's over. We're signing a deal. And of course, Iran is arguing that. So we will find out here today, very quickly, very shortly. But either way, interest rates, excuse me, interest rates are moving down today, which is good news for those of you that are looking to get off the bench. If this war ends and we do see interest rates drop significantly, I'm going to be absolutely thrilled because that means the real estate market's going to go on an absolute tear again. Kevin Warsh, his first meeting as head Fed president will be next Wednesday. We will see, probably more than likely going to see interest rates stay exactly where they're supposed to be. And then in a couple of weeks, or in the following month, I should say, we might maybe slightly, depending on how things look, we might see a small interest rate drop. I'm not expecting it. I'm not hoping for it, but it is on the radar. It's not impossible, but we will have to discuss that as we kind of progress. But let's just be real here. If we see an Iran peace deal signed, oil prices drop, and we see bond prices go down, and more than likely we'll see interest rates go down. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. However, all the hype is not even on the Iran war today, but we will discuss towards the end a little bit more. We're going to talk about oil here, and then we're going to talk about the biggest IPO in history about to hit the market here in about 24 minutes. Excuse me. So this is WTI crude oil spot trading. We see that it's bouncing off that $83 a barrel. So it is finding a bit of a bottom here at $83 a barrel. Now, it does not necessarily concern me as much because we're looking at crude oil now. Crude oil, like I said, we are seeing kind of finding a bottom. I think what we're waiting for is, since we heard a little bit of both, a little bit from United States saying that the Iran war is about to end, and then Iran saying we're not nowhere near a deal. We will dive in here again towards the end of the video, but right now we're kind of finding the support at $90 a barrel for crude oil, and then WTI at $83 a barrel. We'll kind of see what happens, but again, history right now over the last couple of weeks has shown that we've seen our peak, lower highs, and now we're finding a little bit of support. So something pretty significant is going to have to happen in order for the oil markets to bounce pretty heavily. I'm not exactly paying attention too much to it, but we will find out. Next is the, sorry, I'm looking off to my right here. I got my kid a little distracted today. We did see a massive bounce in the S&P 500 yesterday after finding its legs a little bit, towards the downside. We started to kind of bounce off of it. We'll play that as a support right now. It's a pretty strong move. The candle overtake the downward candle pretty quickly. We'll move into today, and we'll kind of see what happens as the market opens. This is market has we're just getting the gears going this morning, so we'll find out here about midday what's going on. We'll discuss more tomorrow, but right now the daily chart for the S&P, you're finding stochastic on its bottom. You're also seeing a major bounce in the RSI from yesterday. We'll see if that continuation happens today. Now let's jump into my favorite topic, which is the biggest IPO we've ever seen. Biggest IPO we've ever seen in stock market history. So again, a little distracted. We got the little man here today, but we're going to dive in and try to pay attention as much as we can. So here's where a lot of people are going to hold the bag, and I'm not excited for this, but we will know here in the next couple hours what things look like tomorrow. But this was a post from yesterday, so we'll go over it. But tomorrow, SpaceX is going live public at $2 trillion. This isn't just an IPO. It's one of the biggest insider cash outs in history. Crowd sees opportunity, institutions see exit, skip day one completely. It is a pure trap. You're buying a straight from the insiders who waited years to cash out. Then comes the real pain. 6 months of brutal sideways death. This phase is designed to break the crowd and works every time. 99% of retail will panic and sell at a loss. That's exactly when smart money accumulates in silence. When hype dies, nobody's talking about SpaceX. You have two choices: buy the launch and become the exit liquidity, or wait for their bags at a discount. Patient pays, FOMO pays them. For the record, I called blah, 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 whatever. This is very, very probable. I love to invest. But here's the thing. I'm going to take it down from a 30,000-foot overview. IPOs, and somebody commented on one of my videos yesterday. They said that Reddit never came down. Perfect. One company. Like, there are going to be companies that are going to go against the trends, they're going to go against, the data, but when you see a company this hyped up, and there are videos that we'll touch on here shortly that are overhyping a stock to this nature. 2 trillion with a T, a $2 trillion on the day of open after producing nothing on the stock market yet. Yes, they have good product. Yes, they're making strides in science. Yes, they're making rockets that are reusable. Very good things. But you have to remember, the stock market does not give a shit about that. It cares about money, cares about the liquidity, cares about things. And the investors do not give a shit about the SpaceX IPO, because what they're doing is, at the very end of the day, they're going to sell on retail investors. Retail investors are going to hold the bag. The market will crash. It will resurface. It will find new all-time highs. I am not disregarding that. SpaceX will be a phenomenal company on the NASDAQ. But what we're going to see is exit liquidity hit the market quickly. Insiders who have been invested in a private company for a long time now have the opportunity to release some of that capital. And in a market right now where everything is, well, let's just say on sale, majority, you saw a major move down in gold, major move down in silver, Bitcoin's down in the 63 range. There's a lot of opportunity elsewhere in the stock market. You're not going to have investors keep something that's hyped like this for a long period of time. They're going to sell it. They're going to invest in something else. And in 6 months to a year, when this stock levels out, they're going to start buying again. And then those are the ones that are going to make money again. So here's the thing. You need to be paying attention to what's going to happen today. Let's just go to it. All right. So this is a little bit longer. No, this isn't a longer one. This is
that day is today.
So bear with
SpaceX.
Me. Oopsies. Let's do this.
Going public. Elon Musk is taking it public with shares set to open at $135, making it the largest IPO in history. It could make Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire and make SpaceX employees millionaires in a single day.
Very life-changing. Elon always said that your salary is one thing, but it's the equity that's going to be worth something. And we are all like, yeah, okay, someday. That day is here. It's great.
And joining me now is the host of Making Money, Fox Business's Charles. That day is today.
All right. So basically, number one thing we should pay attention to is the stock price is supposed to be $135 per share, 550 million shares, 555 million, and raise $75 billion, largest IPO in history. Target value of 1.7 trillion. I mean, again, I could be wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe this thing runs to the moon and everybody makes a shitload of money and all the investors make a lot of money, like what happened with NVIDIA, and all the people who are owned ownership in the company are millionaires now working at NVIDIA. But you have to remember, that didn't happen overnight. It happened over a period of time. Maybe Elon Musk is going to rip this morning and people are going to say Elon Musk is the first trillionaire. But here's the thing. Markets are going to correct. They don't go up forever. And that's the problem with people. Even if you are in huge profit today, I'm encouraging you, take some risk off the table. If you're up 200, 300, 400% as of this morning, which honestly, if it happens, cheers to you. But if you are, look at taking profits, find an exit strategy of some sort, because what's going to happen is you're going to run it up just like every other retail investor. And I am no different than any of you. I have made the mistake where I've held on. It takes off. And you're like, oh, perfect. It's going. Should I pull profits? No, I didn't set up a plan. And then it falls off a cliff. And then you panic sell and you ultimately lose money. Be cognizant of what you're investing into. It's not bad. It's just we have to be aware of what's going on. Got a kid having fun back there. I love it. All right. So SpaceX is worth a max of $63 per share. Warren's Morningstar research, far less than the IPO offering of $135 per share. Again, I'm not a big one to say, oh, Morningstar knows what, is the only, end all be all, but it is very important, you guys. This is something that we have to pay attention to. But here, this one's a little longer. It's about 2 minutes. It's an interview it's just a Fox News rundown. So let's just jump into it real quick.
Day for Wall Street as the company makes its stock market debut.
Fox Business reporter Jerry Willis joins us now with the details. Jerry, is this like your Super Bowl?
Yes, it's exactly like my Super Bowl.
You notice how they have green all the way across the screens. There's nowhere to go but up, right, guys? Nowhere to go but up.
Todd, Carly, good morning to you. We have shares of SpaceX starting trading today on the NASDAQ for the first time in what is expected to be the biggest public offering of stock ever. $75 billion worth of shares. We're expecting a share price of $135. Take it or leave it. That's going to be the number. Ticker SPCX. But the big headline, if all goes according to plan, CEO Elon Musk could become the world's first trillionaire.
I have no doubt he's going to be the first trillionaire, but I will say I don't necessarily believe this is going to be the case. Maybe it is, but it's not going to be forever. There's going to be a time where he's going to be a trillionaire, and then it's going to kind of trickle back into the billions, and then he'll invest when the market's down, just like everybody else, and it'll continue to move.
In addition,
maybe he does shove a bunch of money in. Maybe he takes a couple $100 billion of his own money and shoves it into the stock. We don't know. Elon Musk is a dude who is for the middle class in a lot of cases. Maybe he will. Maybe we will be surprised today. I don't know.
And this is important, some 4,000 employees will become millionaires, at least on paper, due to their stock options. Today's IPO offering is the culmination of weeks of planning and sales pitches to professional investors. It's what they call the dog and pony show. However, SpaceX is allocating an unprecedented 30% of IPO shares for regular investors on platforms like Fidelity, Robinhood.
This is the one thing that may stand out that's going to provide some sort of hopium. Like, again, I want the investor to win. I want the retail investor to win, but 30% is still 70% to the main investors. Yes, this is good. This is exciting. But again, people that are getting in, and those 4,000 employees, they bought in at a discounted price, right? They have a discounted equity share. Retail investors do not.
E-Trade. Fidelity is even lowering the bar for regular investors to get into the deal, allowing people with just $2,000 in their accounts to snag shares. Usually,
this is pretty significant to have younger and less financially benefited people in this space to start investing. This is good stuff, right? This is good things. Again, the retail investor doesn't know much about the investment. They're going off of hype, which is good, but who knows how long that's going to play out, right? So let's continue.
That threshold is 100,000. Now, this doesn't mean shareholders will have a big voice in the company. Musk will retain the majority voting power in the company. And as you know, SpaceX has three main businesses: the reusable rocket business, Starlink satellites, and XAI. Should you buy? Well, consider this. About a quarter of IPO stocks lose at least half of their value in the 3 years after listing day. Todd?
We have a lot of sports to watch today. I feel like this is a sport.
I feel like 25% loses their value for 3 years. I don't think it'll be that long, but I do think we're probably going to have a time frame. It could be 6 months to a year where we don't see anything. This is an interesting. Right here's another thing that we are now 24 hours away. This again was from yesterday. Largest IPO in history. Tomorrow, SpaceX is expected to launch above $2 trillion. This would make SpaceX at least the 7th largest public company in the world. All eyes on SpaceX. Buy on news, or buy on rumor, sell on the news. And there's a very good possibility that today that news is going to kick everybody in the ass, and they're going to be wishing they wouldn't have bought today. Again, I hope it doesn't happen, but again, we have to look at realistic realities and what has happened in the past. So, all right, let's see what happens. We've gave our 2 cents. We have about 12 minutes till that kicks off, and then we will know for sure. Now, next, we're going to talk about the Iran war a little bit. We're going to discuss it just slightly. We're going to see what's going on, and we're going to kind of go from there. So, the Kobisi letter, or I can never say it right, did post this morning. Yesterday at 3:30. President Trump says the Iran supreme leader has approved a deal between the U.S. and Iran. Signing is coming soon. Number one is the U.S. naval blockade to be lifted once the deal is signed. Number two, memorandum of understanding has been approved by everyone in Iran. Karg Island operation by the U.S. military is now off the table. Formal Strait of Hormuz reopening deal expected by as early as Saturday or Monday. Trump declines to set a deadline for the deal, calling Iran rational and confident that a deal will be reached. And that, again, is why oil prices made the drop. Two things that stand out to me here. Karg Island has been a big topic of discussion, and I know that we are focusing on taking over Carg Island, the United States was. And again, if we got to that point, the United States would have a monopolization across the board where they would be able to essentially have 90% of the oil production under control of the United States. Yesterday, we saw that the United States surpasses Saudi Arabia for the most oil exports, or the highest oil export in the world. We are building, we are gaining ground, we are getting somewhere here. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's why the market's becoming more numb to this, because the market's not pricing in the end of Iran war anymore. We played that game long enough. Now we're figuring out, are we actually going to see things continue? Oops, 1 second here. I have a little buddy sick today, so I got to make sure I'm wiping the boogies off his face. But anyhow, that's what we need to be paying attention to. That if this war actually ends and we do see it, like, we have a lot of potential for growth here. There's a lot of potential and opportunity for growth between these two countries. If we can somehow create an ally out of Iran, which may or may not happen, but I mean, let's think about it. We have to look at it from a perspective of running countries and allies and essentially running a business, right? So what you're going to notice is, if we do see a deal like this, I mean, that's extremely good for the United States, because if we make a deal happen, poor guy's not feeling good today. But if we do make a deal with Iran, we have an opportunity to have one of the best allies. I shouldn't say the best, but we do have an opportunity to, well, I mean, take control of the world again, have the United States as a major dominant superpower again without the verge of potentially losing it. I mean, that is on the table, right? But again, we did have a little bit of this pop up, and Tracer, DeFi Tracer, I pay attention to him from time to time. He's always got a little bit of good stuff. But anyhow, Iran's foreign ministry just stated no agreement has been reached on the nuclear issue in the current memorandum. Oh, for good Lord. It is also said that Iran doesn't accept any obligation to transfer control of the Hormuz. This is not good for the deal. Excuse me. Oh, poor guy. Hey, buddy, it's okay. Hey, it's okay. We're okay. Yeah, he's just tired today. But anyways, so we'll see how that kind of progresses today. We have a good opportunity. Trump has reportedly made the concession that unlocks the deal. Iran's uranium can stay in Iran. This is a big deal. If we do see this could be one of the biggest deals we've seen. That was the whole thing that prevented us from having a deal done beforehand, right? So we'll find out what happens. But let's see. Trump agreed that one option for resolving the enriched uranium standoff is down blending the stockpile inside of Iran under the UN inspector supervision. This is a major softening for the public demand that uranium be destroyed or handed over to the United States. Any nuclear steps only happen under a second, more detailed deal with the MOU laying out the framework. The agreed text reopens the Strait of Hormuz immediately without tolls, restores pre-war ship within 30 days, and lifts the blockade and extends the ceasefire for 60 days, including Lebanon. The deal brokered by Qatar and Pakistan will be called the Islamabad Agreement, with a possible advanced signing ceremony in Geneva. Mojtbad, I can never say that name. Final sign-off is the last missing piece, and the Netanyahu, I can never say his name either, was reported left completely in the dark, calling around Washington for information. So what I think we're seeing is Israel's kind of made its bed. Now it's kind of sleeping in it, where they were continuing to have attacks when the United States was asking them not to. If the United States makes a deal with Iran, there's very well we could have some tension between Israel and the United States. We will know more as we kind of progress, but let's be honest here. Things are moving. We are seeing excitement. Whether it's good or bad, time will tell here sooner rather than later. Let's be optimistic. Let's hope that SpaceX takes off today and we see some positive gains. We will see. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Also, make sure to like and follow so we can have more videos pop up. We'll continue to post every day.